You're watching PEGRI TV, Rhode Island's public access channel.
Oh, you didn't know? Yes, it is.
Welcome everybody to the brand new show here from the Official Wrestling Museum. And what better way to do than have the greatest tag team here from New England. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to The Hot Tag. I am your host with the Moses. I am Angel. These are the Official Wrestling Museum's Hall of Famers.
Low Life.
And Sergeant Stryker.
Thank you, Sarge, for joining us for this debut show. It's great to have you here. You know, this is kind of awkward for me right now.
Who better to have by our side than Sergeant Stryker?
It's absolutely right, but like I don't remember. We're all on the same page now.
Today we are.
Okay, like we're not back in the ring days. Okay, like we're good here, right?
Card's full.
Okay, just making sure. Just making sure. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're giving you guys what you guys asked for. But before we get into that, we do want to send our respects to Only Innocent, Virgil, and the Official Wrestling Museum Hall of Famer Paul Vachon, who have passed away since we've been here on the air. Thoughts and prayers goes out to their families. So, you guys asked, we listened, and now you guys have your own half-hour talk show about Q&As that you sent to the Official Wrestling Museum. You can email it, you can tweet it, you can face it, you can Insta it, you can message it, you can contact it. There's a lot of different ways you can get to us. It really is. Just go to theofficialwrestlingmuseum.com, and there's a million and one ways there. Send us the questions because we're doing this show each and every week for you guys. But we're still doing Figures Are Us. We still got Off the Ropes going for you guys, and make sure you guys check out these weeks. But we also have two other shows. We're bringing back Free Purview, our 1 hour special that's community-based or interview shows that's going to feature the three of us around one of these, kicking it back 25 years of our history, telling you how this industry got built up. This is something that we've been looking forward to for quite some time. And The Four Corners, what's that all about?
So Four Corners is we take instead of doing a top 5, because that's a simple way, we do a top 4 this week of the debut show. We'll be doing the top 4, the Mount Rushmore, as we call it, of tag teams. So you can't just pick 5, you got to go with 4. So generally you would want to pick 5, but you got to single one of those out. Makes it a little more difficult.
It's going to be interesting. It's going to be full with a bunch of facts and everything. So you guys want more contact, and we're giving you more contact. We're also doing it with our YouTube page. We're making our own network on there. There's so much that's going to be released on that over the next coming month or so. So we're going to have all that information here. So why don't we get into these questions, because that's what people are here for, right? All right. Who wants to pull the first question?
Go right ahead.
I'll go for you. You know what?
I can't read. All right, we'll do this. Let's go with this. What's this right here?
You know, this is pretty cool. This is government issue right here on PEG TV. This perfect fits. It really is.
Yeah, you're going to have to read that.
See, that's some old age
While we're
kicking
talking
it.
about I can't read.
Is Cody Rhodes
Happens
that big of a name?
I say yes. I say that, he left when he left WWE and went and did the independent scene, Ring of Honor, TNA. He went all over Japan, went to AEW. When he came back, and especially at that Royal Rumble, when he won the Royal Rumble last year, felt like a superstar. Like, I would say before that, he didn't feel like that top name, but since the Royal Rumble of last year, 2023, he's definitely felt to me like the guy.
I'm in agreement with him. I feel, you know, like when he first came out as Stardust, he was like living in his brother's shadow and stuff. But since coming back, winning that first Rumble, I really hope he finished his story. I mean, to me, this guy is the top. He's the top right now.
Well, for me, it's not that big of a name. It's only like 10 letters. No, in all honesty, I really do believe he's that big of a name. First and foremost, I always loved entrance gear. When he comes out, his gear is right on point. That even if you don't know who Cody Rhodes is, you're invested in him immediately.
I really like the gear.
You know what I mean?
He's
really
got
like
great,
the gear.
He's got great gear. His entrance is great. It resonates with children. Like my
Well,
son
I was just going to
him.
say that. He is so over where after the shows, they have to pull him from signing autographs after the shows every single time he's out there. I don't think there's any bigger name right now for children than Cody Rhodes. He took the place of the John Cena.
Right.
Like, I really feel that's what happened.
I think too, like he generally seems like a nice guy. He genuinely seems like he's having fun.
Yeah.
I mean, he's fun to
about
watch.
time.
He's fun to watch in the ring. I definitely think like my problem with him in AEW was he kind of could go off the rails and do his own thing. He's under WWE. He's following.
I think in
their
AEW he
script.
felt like he had to do that
Yeah.
because he had to, because it was his name on the line. You know what I mean? I think with WWE he has that freedom to do, but he feels that he doesn't need to do.
A basic answer to this question is Cody Rhodes a big name? He's the only guy I can
basic
see
answer
in the
guy.
company beating Roman Reigns. I can't see anyone else doing it. So, is he a big name? Yeah. If
Yeah.
he's the only guy that I can see
Absolutely.
beat Roman, that puts it off right there.
All right, let's go with the next one.
All right.
Yeah, let's get deep. And,
I
let's,
hope he does beat Roman Reigns too.
and that's coming up really, really soon. Oh, there's two. We'll go with this one. I don't know why. Just felt like it. Okay. Which Doink the Clown did you enjoy the most?
So it's funny because Doink is a topic we talk about.
It really is.
You know what? Matt Bourne Doink, the very first Doink, the heel Doink, really was so good, and it was short-lived because he ended up having drug problems and left the company. But man, when he would come out and he would spray kids with water, or he beat Crush with that cast, yeah, you could look back as an adult and say this is corny, but he did so good with that character. His facial mannerisms, really like Matt Bourne was also a very great wrestler too. So
Yeah.
he really was good. The other Doink, that was just, that was for kids, and that was to get over, the happy. So definitely heel Doink. And since that, there's been a million Doinks on the independent scene, but
Right.
Matt Bourne Doink was really a great character.
You can tell we're a tag team because, like,
You're gonna go the same way.
I agree with him, and he like takes your answers too. It's
He
like
does. He just, and I'm not saying it because you guys.
yeah,
I gotta
just-
agree too.
I'm 100% agreement. I think that's the best one out of all of them.
WWE had 4 altogether that they played off of. You know what I mean? Your second one I like because it was kid active. It was that clownish. I had Dink with them. That was fun. But you wouldn't have had that Doink or any other Doinks without the original. And the original one was so twisted. And when you wanted to be afraid, then he made you love him. And then you made him hate you again, but then you felt bad for him. He had all these emotions that he was able to bring to the table.
Yeah. He had that great feud. Again, looking back, I might say great. He had that feud with Crush. He beat him with that.
In all
that
honesty,
cast.
that was a really great
Now,
feud, though.
You remember at the end of in WrestleMania 9, I think
Yep.
it was. where
Caesar
he did
Palace.
and he had the two of them.
Yep.
And it was Steve Kern, and yeah, it was just the heel Doink. If anyone says the babyface Doink was better,
He's a great guy, but yeah.
We'll take him number 2.
Yeah.
all right, I should be able to read his writing. What Rock action figures is your favorite?
You guys went to action figures, huh?
Hey, I can't help it. This will get sent into the museum.
I don't know. I have a lot of Jakks. I have a lot of the Jakks ones. Actually, the Superstars one that just came out was pretty good. I can't pick a specific one. That's not a great question for me.
You could go for days on this.
There's so many figures. You know what? Because the Rock figures, there's so many Rock figures. Jakks did the classic ones, and they did Rocky Maivia. I'm gonna say the Rocky Maivia Jakks classic. He comes with the he had that, I don't know, the Samoan garb with the straps. Yeah,
yep.
I'm gonna say that one. It's fun. It's from a time where you probably wouldn't have wanted that Rock figure. So I'm gonna say, for me, I'm gonna say that.
I really wasn't an action figure guy. I mean, we'll just be honest here.
Right.
I was more into the sports as a younger person, so I really don't have a favorite.
But see, that's a good lesson. Always honesty in the world. Honesty is the best way to go, folks. That's out there. You might think it's going to hurt you, or a child might be afraid. Be honest. It's going to go the right way. You got to have respect for that. For me personally, you were going with the Rocky Maivia look, and I seen the classic. The classic's cool. They actually made one for Targets with the Elite. I liked how it was presented in that particular box. The Elite was a different color at that time. But for me, it was the KB Toys reject figure line Backlash. It was an orange black box, and it was the first time they ever made Rock with his suit, his help me out here, shirt.
$500.
The $500 shirt. And it looked so impressive, and I was like, oh my God, I love this figure, but why did it have to be in the KB Toys reject line? And I honestly, I never took it out of the package. I've seen one out of the package, but it was all beat up, so you couldn't really see the details that well. But I never understood why they never put that in the actual Jakk line, because everybody wouldn't want that. What they did was they had those little black materials that you could take the vest off. What was that? That was nothing for him. You know what I mean?
I know they're releasing a new one coming up, and it's a Monday Night Wars version, and I don't remember him wearing this. So to me, it's a cool one, actually, I'll say, because when you think of the Rock figures, you think of him wearing the tights, the trunks that say the Rock on the back. This one, or the Rocky Maivia, this one is like just as he turned to the Rock. He wasn't quite the Rock yet, so it's still his somewhat Rocky Maivia trunks, but not quite. It's when he was in the Nation.
Okay.
So it's cool, it's different. But I don't remember him wearing just a plain black shirt with a big R on it. Do you remember? That's the shirt it comes with. You can take it off. It's soft goods, but I don't know. So just let you know.
I don't know. I can't remember that either.
Yeah, I
I
don't
don't remember either.
Sometimes with the figures,
I can't read the writing,
sometimes with
brother.
the figures, they'll make a figure.
I'm just gonna reach in, pull one out, and hand it to
wearing
you.
something they wore one time too. So
What do you think of the Bret Hart Shawn Michaels feud?
you want to go first? Or?
I think it's one of the greatest feuds of all time. It had the little angle of a lot of the realism, where there was a lot of, they really didn't like each other at first. So I mean, for me, that's like one of the best feuds of all time.
Yeah.
And their matches were phenomenal.
They had
chemistry in the ring was
They had
insane.
great tag team matches when they were Hart Foundation Rockers. They had great mid-card feud over the IC title, and then they had the hatred they had, just the jealousy. I mean, generally, like growing up, we were either like, hey, you're a Bret Hart guy or a Shawn Michaels guy. And we were both always Bret Hart guys. I think, and I know you love Bret Hart.
Yeah.
I've emulated some of his moves in the ring myself.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of have now gone to, overall, Shawn Michaels was probably the better performer, but you can't go wrong with either one. And their feud, I mean, you can't pick a bad match they had. The Iron Man match was, so a lot of people say that that's their favorite. I don't know, I just don't, it didn't click like that with me. It was still a great match, but I wouldn't put it up there as like this great classic.
I think the feud was just perfect. It was your Hogan Warrior feud. You know what I mean? It was your next generation going out there telling a story. Two great competitors. Who was better? You really couldn't pick. Now, like you said, Shawn was probably the more athletic one. Bret was more the old school technical one. You know what I mean? It told a great story.
Yeah.
And there was real heat between them. So when they were out there, it just brought that little more of a, edge to this angle that people were invested in, people wanted to see. You know what I mean? And I don't think there's been a storyline like them since. You know, people say, okay, well, what about Austin and McMahon? Well, that's a boss and an employee.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, they might have tangled, but that's
Yeah, this is two guys that had the rivalry, the jealousy of wanting to be that top guy.
Yeah, exactly.
It was
They tried it with like Steph Rollins or Roman Reigns. You know what I mean? It just
doesn't-
didn't come.
It just doesn't add up. I
Nope.
think they just set the bar so high.
Yeah.
Take one from the bottom here.
The deep bottom.
Going deep.
Yeah. All the way to the bikini bottom.
All right. What's your thoughts on Rhea Ripley? One of the biggest stars in the company.
Remember, we need to stay on before
Right.
11 p.m., okay?
One of the biggest stars in the company. I'm not going to say during the first Mae Young Classic, but definitely she stood out. Definitely during the second Mae Young Classic, I was like, this girl, she's got it. She could be a star. Then I watched in NXT UK. Great in-ring work. I mean, like, to have the crowd cheer you over Becky Lynch, you got to be special. And
Yeah.
she is. She's definitely, I'd say, top 3 stars in the company.
You know, I always talk about her as probably one of the best female wrestlers of all time. I mean, she's huge as far as stature and like all the power moves. Even as the match goes on, she still has the power to do all the bigger moves, and she's just phenomenal.
Unique look. She's a
She's a unique look. Her entrance is above all as far as the females go, and she just commands that presence. When she's there, it's all eyes on me.
And let's just face it, she's just the new age China. That's exactly what she is. And is that a bad thing? No. China's in the official Wrestling Museum's Hall of Fame. China's in the WWE Hall of Fame, which she really needs to be in by herself, but that's a whole nother
I would
story.
say a new age
okay?
China
But
improved.
Exactly, because she's able to get out there, win over the crowd, talk, get Dominic over, okay? And her wrestling ability is unbelievable. Her gear is unbelievable. And one thing I really like you said about her entrance, you know, she kicks up so high up in the air.
Yep.
You never see her do like big boots. Once in a while she'll do something like that, but you don't see her incorporating a high kick somewhere in her match. She keeps that, and that's smart. You know what I mean? She just has that it factor, and she's absolutely one of the best the WWE has right now, and she's young, and she's only getting better and better as the time keeps growing.
And she's always felt to me like she has that, like with Cody, genuine love for what she's doing.
Yeah.
She's having a good time. And also her being the dominant. She's had the belt now for just under a year. And it's like, sometimes with a title reign, you can be like, I'm sure everyone feels it with Roman. It's like,
Gets boring and drawn out, yeah.
It hasn't felt like that with her. And it's like, at the same time, I don't see a woman on that roster that should be the one to beat her yet.
But here's the thing, though. With her and what's good about her, any person can beat her on that roster. Because she's not, say, like a Nia Jax size. Nothing against, Nia Jax.
Right.
Anybody can go up to her, hit a move, or do a roll-up and get a pin. And that is the type of champion that is phenomenal because you can put over somebody that typically wouldn't get over, but she's also that champion that you can leave that title belt on for a long period of time and everybody's invested in.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely.
I think that was
One of the most
definitely
popular females by far.
Who knows? Maybe it should be in the official Wrestling Museum's Hall of Fame later in life.
Put her next.
You guys are going to have a lot of people join.
This is great. This is
All
great.
right. Who was the first WCW United States champion? You guys know?
Was it Harley Race?
Nope.
Ric Flair?
Nope.
I have no idea.
On
Not
it?
gonna lie,
Wasn't on it.
no clue.
Nope.
70s?
No, it's 80s.
Not Magna Tia, Tully Blanchard?
When this question came in, I was like,
This is a tough one.
oh, okay, now these people are starting to think and stuff. I'm like, this is going to start quizzing people, okay.
Don Cornudle?
Dan Kududu? No.
It wasn't the Stinger.
Chief T.
Nope,
Strongbow?
it was closest thing.
I mean,
nope.
Wahoo McDaniel, I'm sorry.
Nope. So it was actually Lex Luger.
Oh, all right.
Which I thought was actually kind of cool that once he came over to WWE, he was a total package, but it was the nonsense, but then he turned into the All-American. So I thought it was a pretty cool tie. But yeah, it was
like him as the
Lex
All-American.
Luger. And he beat Barry Windham for it. Then he actually went back and he lost against Barry Windham and then got the belt back. So
Nice. Good question. Good question.
WCW US title has had some great looking titles over the years, too.
yeah. And actually, I was always a fan of any U.S. champion. I always thought they did justice.
I like U.S. champions.
Yeah.
You know me.
Which,
We're for the country.
He goes, ooh.
this is a long one. It's a multiple choice. At least you wrote the multiple choice on this one. Which WWE wrestler held the first Divas Championship in 2008? Maurice, Melina, Michelle McCool, or Mickie James? I don't know. Michelle McCool?
It is.
That was just a guess.
That was just a guess, right?
So Michelle McCool, Undertaker's wife. I only guessed it because they just released the WWF video game and there was a picture of the women's title and everyone was saying Michelle McCool, so it was just a guess.
Well, you know why I like that they put McCool over? It's because even if you took those three names alone and the name Diva, right? Those other three names would have been more of the prerogative, showing off. McCool,
Right.
the most prerogative she ever got was when she looked like a schoolgirl teacher.
Right, yeah.
You know what I mean? And then, yeah, maybe like the gear later on, but out of the four names, you wouldn't think McCool as a Diva champion. You would think as a women's champion.
Right.
I'm surprised one of the choices wasn't Melissa Fox.
Yeah.
Official Wrestling Museum Hall of Fame.
Famer.
There
Yeah,
you
that's
go, yeah.
absolutely, yeah. That's true.
Next up.
All right. Let's go with this one. Did you like when WWE made WrestleMania into 2 nights?
Yeah, I think so. I had actually been saying, because Japan had done some stuff like that, and I think they did it with Wrestle Kingdom maybe. And maybe 2 years before, I actually was saying, hey, they should probably make WrestleMania 2 nights. It definitely makes it bigger. It makes it a whole weekend thing. I think now it's actually too much because now it's SmackDown, Hall of Fame, all on the same night. Then the next morning you have NXT's, whatever they're Stand and Deliver at like 11 a.m., which I love the time. I love it early. Then you have WrestleMania Night 1, WrestleMania Night 2, Raw the next night after that, then NXT. So you have like 6 nights of wrestling. But the WrestleMania in 2 nights, it just makes it a bigger thing. I think it makes it, I mean, definitely, because they're going to sell out both nights, so they're going to make so much money, and it gives more people, they always try to throw people in, like, let's do this 10-man match or a battle royal. Now you have 2 nights of wrestling, so more people can get on that card. So
The same way I feel like, with the 2 nights, the fans get so much more out of it. You can include so much more of the roster, and it's not like you have to have a run-in on every match. These guys can actually have their own matches, and you're not jamming so much into so little bit of time. You just wide spectrum, just so much. Yeah.
See, for me, I wasn't a fan of it. Even though it was a very long day, you know what I mean? I felt like this is just to get more money. But that's what it gave me. You know what I mean? And yes, it is right. You can get more bodies on the show. But then, okay, well, night 1 or night 2, what night would be a bigger night? You would think Sundays would be the bigger night because Sundays was the night of pay-per-views. So if now you're main eventing night 1, or you're on day 1 show or night 1 show, are you not that good of a talent? And because you didn't make night 2. Now they made Saturdays as your pay-per-view night, and I was actually starting to warm up to these 2 nights. I really was. Like this year here, I actually felt, you know what, I'm kind of open for it. You know what I mean? It's going to be good. And what do? You have 2 guys, well, 3 actually, wrestling on 2 nights. So you have Bayley that should have been a main eventer because she won the Rumble. She's just they'll probably make her the popcorn match, which is ridiculous.
Right.
Okay. And then you have Rock going out there with Roman, Cody, Steph, and then guess what? You get to see them again the following night. So people that can't make WrestleMania and make it on the card, now you got guys getting double paydays because you want to be greedy. And then it goes back to that greedy stuff, and it just took my interest.
I can
away.
definitely see
I have
that.
problems with this year's WrestleMania, but we'll talk about that in a WrestleMania preview show. But I mean, but for the fans, when they're sitting there like, what night should I go to? What night should I go to? Well, now both nights they'll get to see Cody, they'll get to see Roman on both nights, which he's not on there often. And I think also for the talent, they get to say, like for example, Sami Zayn can go and go, hey, I main evented WrestleMania. Now, most likely he's never really going to be. If it was just one night, he will not be a main event guy. Just But now he can say it, or the Usos, who were a tag team, can say, "Hey, we main evented WrestleMania."
That's true.
So
Right.
it gives the talent a chance. And what you said earlier, I like it more because it's 2 nights and it's gonna be probably 4 hours each, but it's not 4 hours straight like it used to
Right.
be. And it's like
True.
it became so long that and you could be like, it's going to be 8 hours. We could take a break and watch. You're not really going to do that. You want to watch it live.
Yeah, you wanna see it,
Now you
yeah.
get that. Like I said, you're going to watch NXT in the morning. That's going to be 2.5, 3 hours. You get a break for the couple hours. Okay, now I'm going to watch WrestleMania Night 1. Take a break. Watch the next night.
Yeah.
So you get breaks. So
Yeah.
I think it's going to be this way moving forward, probably forever. I mean, they're not going to look at the money they're making and say,
go
you know what, let's
backwards,
scale
no.
it back to 1 night.
No,
Yeah.
they'll never go back to 1 night.
Who's held the most titles in WWE history? Well, there's so many titles. Are you talking about
Well,
just,
probably rings.
just specifically
Yeah,
Title
like,
reigns.
if you're looking at this guy here and all the titles he's held on the WWE or even a female,
Now, do you know the answer to this? Or
I personally
Okay.
do. I'm big on this guy.
I'm gonna guess.
He's got a little bit of an edge because he sees the questions before us. We can
Hey,
research a little bit more
Hey,
where to shoot from there. Hey,
I'm gonna throw a guess out and say Randy Orton, maybe. No.
Close, but we are.
Randy,
Well, you said Edge.
And he's further away.
no, I said he has the
Oh,
edge.
no, but you
because-
said Edge, and I'm gonna say because you said the word Edge, maybe Edge.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm going to go with one of the older guys. Obviously, I'm going to go with like a Shawn Michaels.
No,
Cena.
no. So
Wow.
we will bring this up to 59 reigns. with
Oh, are we
R-Truth.
counting?
R-Truth.
Wait a minute, though. But you're
you
counting.
did say
you're
wait.
counting,
No,
you're
no,
counting
no.
hardcore and 24/7 titles.
They're
Well, he
titles.
said titles. He did
Yeah,
say
I know
titles
it's
and
different.
reigns.
That's
He
what I'm
did say
saying.
titles.
That's
It's
what I said.
R-Truth, the
That's
man
what I'm
with
saying.
little
is that
Jimmy.
There's so many titles. These
Yeah.
okay, outside of that, do you know who would be after that?
Well, that
Not-
wasn't a part of the question.
That 24/7 title is garbage.
On that note, I do know the answer, but we'll get to that another
You know, we
time.
might
because
have
the
to get
time's
back
running
into
out.
this tag team thing over here. You
Yeah.
are in the middle.
Okay, okay. Well, thank you guys so much for sending your questions in. Now, as you can tell, we have plenty more, but we need more from you.
Next
so
time,
make sure you
next
send
time
it in
say
to us.
meaningful titles.
Exactly.
Make sure you guys take our Smile Up Challenge, where we try to spread more smiles than hate in the world. All you got to do is smile and put that thumb up. That's all you got to do. Thank you guys for tuning in. Check out the official Wrestling Museum for all your needs. Coming autograph appearances. Check out the official Wrestling Museum Hall of Fame page. Follow us on social media because WrestleMania weekend, there might be a lot of stuff dropping. You may want to check that out. It's going to be awesome. Check out Off the Ropes this week. Figures Are Us. Four Corners, the brand new show. And the free preview show, the 1 hour show is coming back with the three of us kicking it back 25 years. We are very young. Thank you guys very much. And you know what they say.
We'll see you at the matches.